Friday vibes. No plan in hand for this live, man. I've been advised by some very reputable sources to not do this, to not go live without a plan, but I can't help myself, man. I got a lot of, you know what it is? I just went to the New York Windup and had a great, phenomenal experience there. If you guys don't know, I made a video recap of it, so if you're looking to see what that looked like and look for some information on the companies that I did get to film, go in and do that video because I have the memory of a squirrel. I'm not going to remember to recite things here while I'm live. So it is what it is. And like I said, I don't have a plan for this live, but it is what it is. But let's do a wristwatch check. That's very important. I got the Zedzimi and I've got the Watch Crunch inspired modification that I did. And I actually, somebody just asked me this, when did I complete this mod? This was actually completed last year's, just before the windup last year, which started this whole thing, this whole catalyst for independent brand talk and just widened the whole hobby for me. Once I found independent brands, I was really super excited to dive even deeper, man. I really felt like I found gems when it came to independent brands and what they had to offer. And it was my version of luxury, like all of the things that they are not really held down to do. They have a lot more freedom. They're super passionate. Not to say that other companies aren't, but I really feel like a lot of the independent brands are just regular guys like me and you, a regular enthusiast that just decided to take the plunge. So it's really cool to talk to them because they're just normal people like you and I, and connect to a lot of them from last year, and excited to see a lot of them in this year's New York Windup Fair, but also all the new brands that were there, right? There was so many different brands. What's going on, everybody? Sigmund, Horn, what's going on? Yo, Skylar, hope all is well. Glad you had a good time. And yes, man, I live in New York, but I had a fantastic time at the show. I'm going to talk about that here today. I started off the live saying I didn't have a plan. I technically don't, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Watch Crunch because I've been super fired up this week to talk about them with their new additions to the platform. But badass watches, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, yeah. So listen, the channel, I was thinking about this, right? I was saying the channel may feel a little random. I don't know if it feels random. You guys let me know. Because I have mods here. I got reviews. I've got affordable brands. I've got independent brands that I do reviews of. I do these lives. And I know it feels a little scattered, but it doesn't for me. And that's because when I decided to come and do YouTube, I decided to just share my hobby and what it looks like. That's all I'm really doing. I'm letting you guys into the things that I come across or the things that I do. You know, I'm not gonna be the smartest kid in the room, ever. Or I should say man at this point. I'm never gonna be the smartest person in the room, that's for sure. I'm super enthusiastic, I'm super transparent, I'm gonna make mistakes. You guys saw in my wind-up video that I couldn't even pronounce the brand name. I got the memory of a squirrel. So if you're coming to me for information, you probably wanna go to another source. But if you want some inspiration, or if you want some, you know, genuine enthusiasm about the hobby, that's what I'm all about, and that's what I do here. So it kind of feels, I feel personally that the channel kind of has a random vibe to it, but it makes sense to me. And as I progress and as I mold this channel, it's going to get refined, right? I'm working on the technical things for the channel first, where I'm trying to get down the editing, and so I pretty much feel very comfortable with that. Moving forward, I have a lot of good plans for 2025, and even with, like, let's say reviews, I'm gonna try to implement things a little different for reviews because I love doing watch reviews, right? But you know, when you get to the description of the watch and breaking down the watch, I want to try to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more interactive, you know, whatever that looks like, whether it be me playing music. Now, I have only, you know, X amount of time allowed to do this. I only do YouTube as basically a hobby, right? I don't do YouTube as full-time, full disclosure, full transparency. I only do this basically as a hobby, but I treat it like a business, if that makes sense. I take a lot of pride in trying to get better and also, you know, just get all of the technical stuff down packed, but that's just what it is. Let me catch up on chat before it loses me. Badass watches, I read that. I saw your pick on Watch Crunch, and you were rocking the tan line Ghost Watch. Which watch was that? Is it this one? Are you talking about this one? Because the one I posted today was this watch. So maybe you were looking back at it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. What is your favorite brand? That's a loaded question, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't necessarily have a favorite brand, to be honest with you. I think brands have different focuses, especially when they are trying to separate themselves. That's the biggest thing for most brands, is trying to separate yourself in a saturated market. We're seeing a lot of independent brands from the New York show. That should be completely transparent at this time. A lot of them are striving to have, you know, different iterations and different spins and different things like that. I can tell you that there were a couple of watches that really impressed me, which is that company that I can't pronounce, but it has that floating second. There's another watch that I saw that had a different kind of jump hour, where actually the minute hand was a jump hour. That was phenomenal. But as far as favorite brands go, man, I can't just put my finger on it, to be honest with you. For me, that's a loaded question. Jack Mason has a lot of my attention, though. I can say that. If you twist my arm, that's all you should do. It's a hobby, and everyone has their own personality in this hobby. So always do you. Exactly. That's a very good point, man. I think that once you get comfortable in front of the camera, you have to try to break that wall and let people into how you really are. The only thing that you guys aren't going to get from me is when I'm off camera, I curse like a sailor, and I like to make this family friendly here. So I don't like to do that, because I've been on lives and I've been on other shows where people's kids are walking in the background. So, you know, I want to keep it respectable. I want to keep it where you're not going to be afraid to watch one of my lives if you have kids and stuff like that. So the main idea and the main thing, listen, I was talking to a couple of content creators at Windup, right? And the main thing when you're doing this, the main thing, you know, specifically with watch content, but not so specifically, right, is you don't want to just feel like you're coming off of the machine. You want to feel like you have your own individuality, you're putting your own thumbprint in it, and you want to try to, like I said, break down that wall and let people see your real personality for what it is. And that's pretty much what you guys get. Like, I'm a little bit more goofier too. You'll probably see that as I get more comfortable, but a lot of the time, I guess this is becoming a, I guess this is becoming like a therapy session. A lot of the time, I've been called to have a very funny personality, very goofy. But my problem with that is that when I give you that too much, I'm seen as a jester, right? I'm seen as a clown, like, oh yeah, he's fun, boy, he's all jokes, boy. So I didn't want to start off with that, but I'm gonna give you guys that little by little. You probably already seen I'm probably talking it up more than I really should, but yeah, so just putting your personality in it is something that I'm looking forward to in 2025. Also, doing and getting more collaborations with independent brands. I was scouting the New York Windup to really see who really piques my interest. But to be honest with you, I want to cover all of them, baby. I don't want to just stop at one. I want to get them all. But, you know, I want to really connect with, you know, the ones that really have my interest, and just leave the door open for any possibility. Now, I want to do more interview styles like I do on the lives with the brand owners. That's really cool. I think you guys get to see. Now, I might change that format to not be live. This way I can put more edits in the video, like show you guys the watches as we're talking, maybe refine it and something like that. You guys let me know if you like the raw, live, unedited, unadulterated, unfiltered type of flow to it. That's cool. It adds a little bit more pressure because if things go wrong, then you're live, so it is what it is. But that's one of the things that I want to shape for the lives as it goes. So let's see. Hey, Skylar, how are you doing, bro? Good morning from me from Australia. Good morning, Smack Daddy. Not morning for me, afternoon, but good morning. I hope you're having a nice cup of joe. Hello. Hello, SZA. Lone Rangers sneaking in the building, Mr. Sailcloth himself. What? I'm not sure what that response is. Noctua. See what happens when I watch Trap Vision 3D too much? Noctua. I don't know if you like that kind of pronunciation, but it's fun to say. Noctua Watches Corp is in the building. He is also something that I am working with hand in hand. New independent brand. Watches are going to be phenomenal off the gate, I can tell you that much. I'm waiting on a couple of pieces to really put everything together for you guys as a full package, but stay tuned for the Noctua review. You guys are gonna love it. That may be one of the reviews that I try to pour a little bit more energy to, but he has a fantastic line coming off the gate. Great quality. Your tan line, my tan line. Oh, what, this? You talking about this? Oh, I don't know, the watches? Bro, I'm a mess. What are you gonna do? Speak, hang, wing. I'm so sorry. I think what kind of flag is that? Guys, you guys are really testing me right now. I told you already I'm not the smartest person in the room. Yes, and people are drawn to those who present their, yeah, exactly. You could kind of sniff it out too. When somebody's holding back and they're not being their true self, they're gonna look uncomfortable or they're gonna sound generic. So you gotta be you. And I get it. Listen, when you find a creator and you're seeing their videos, whether it be watches or not, right? Like, it's hard to talk to a piece of metal, right? Like, I'm looking in it right now, I'm talking to you guys, there's engagement, there's chat, so it helps. When you're doing videos, or even when you start doing the lives, if you choose to go that route, it's hard, man. I'm basically talking to myself, except for the fact that there's chat here, so in my mind, I know I'm talking to people, but stage fright is real, I guess. For me, I love lives, man. I really do, and I never thought that it would be cool. Watches only is in the building. If you guys don't know, man, check out his channel. When we're talking about authentic, where we're talking about refreshing, I don't know if this man has done YouTube prior. I don't know if he had a channel. I don't know if he just started in totality. But his videos, his reviews, breath of fresh air. What? His reviews are a breath. Oh, man. It's like you want to start dancing. Like, you want to start. And Cool Watches Only, I'm low-key jealous of you. Yes, I'm saying this on live. But it's a healthy jealous. It's a jealous where it's like, man, that man got some talent. I gotta step my game up, baby. Good job, bro. Good job. Keep them coming. The reviews on watches need you. Keep it the way you have it, man, and just keep excelling. And I might homage your videos, bro. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I might as well call it a clomage. I don't know. What's good, Skylar? Yo, Protect Philippe. Big supporter. What's going on, brother, man? Is in the building. I appreciate you. You're a big supporter. I really, really appreciate. Easy way for people to remember. So I'm saying it's true. That's true. Noctua. Remember that name. The reviews are coming soon, guys. I'm gonna try to put my foot on it. Is that how the expression goes? Probably not. You could always do both. Post edit versions and post the unedited versions to subscribers. Something you should consider. Something I gotta look into. I didn't even know post. And here's the deal too, man, and I feel bad because, not that I feel bad, but the algorithm on lives is a little different. And I have these guys come up and they talk about their brand, and I would love for it to get exposed a little bit more, but I'm not sure if it's because not that many people like to watch lives or whatever the case may be. So that was my process in thinking of doing a recording and then setting it as a long format instead of a live. I don't know, but I'll definitely look into what you're saying, brother, man. I appreciate it. Love the vibe, man. I love your vibe, okay? You love my vibe, I love your vibe. We vibing. Give us that wrist check, bro. I already did, man. You the one who stepped in here late, my guy. So, Watch Crunch Inspire modification with the Mr. Santana in there. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. Wait, back it up. There we go. The Mr. Santana Watch Crunch Inspire. We're going to talk about Watch Crunch here. You know, we're going to be on here for a while. So, if you didn't get some drinks and if you didn't get some popcorn, go ahead and do so at this point in time while I do the wrist check again. And Zezimi, you call her Stephanie? I call her Zezimi. Yes, Zezimi has been incredibly generous to the channel. That's how the review goes. I'm actually working on the review for this watch as well. That's why it's on my wrist. I wasn't double wristing earlier, but I'm no stranger. I don't care, man. I put 2 watches on, baby. My wife hates that. She's like, we can't go out like that. We can't go out like that. You can't wear 2 watches. And I'm like, of course I can, baby. At the watch fair, everybody was like, hype about that. They were like, yeah, that's right, you do, you boo-boo. I'm spitting all over the place. That's an Indian flag, brother. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Big love and big respect to India. That's awesome that you guys are watching over there, man. My wife is actually Southeast Asian, man. So that's what's up. No, your tan line on your wrist. Oh, snap. My bad, bro. My tan line on my wrist, always wearing a watch. Take your watch off. And so there's a if you looked at my post from the Watch Crunch Windup Fair video that I did, I also post like pictures that I did with Chris Ward, Max, everybody. And in one of those photos, the one with Max, I actually didn't have a watch on because I had the watch. So cool, man. We're gonna talk about the Watch Crunch meetup. So everybody's, you know, chilling, having vibes. We're at a bar, blah, blah, blah. And what we do is we show our watches, obviously. So I took both my watches off. I set them on the table and, you know, let the enthusiasts, you know, look at it and stuff like that. So when I went to go take the picture, man, I was like this. I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, man, I hope I don't get cooked for this. But it is what it is. You know, you can't go back. What are you going to do? Take your watch off and rocking a fan like Ghost Watch. What did you just say? I can't read. Haha. Thanks, man. You are a real one. I appreciate you, man. Us new content creators need to stick together. Let's just say that, man. So I had a long conversation, not a long conversation, about a half an hour with my man Trap. If you guys don't know, Trap Vision 3D, I do a bunch of collaborations with him. I honestly, he's on the council in my team, right? We had a conversation of what we want to do. So moving forward, specifically closer to 2025, we're going to be doing more of a panel style. We want to do at least twice a month where we go up there and we just talk about, you know, the latest and greatest and have that kind of conversation. Because I think that that's the most value to give you guys. I think you guys want to know what's going on in the mind of content creators, the people that are hungry. I'm coming from a different aspect. I'm coming from more of like the learning professional, as I've been coined. He's coming from years and years, and he has other people that go on his and watch his lives all the time. So the plan in 2025, after talking to my man Trap Vision 3D Travis, is to create a panel and go up there on a regular basis. I think you guys would really like that. So that's what we're gonna do. Why use watches if you can see what time it is on your smartphone? That's a good question, man. Thank you for asking that. Thank you for asking it. That's Anna. Why do you need a watch on your wrist? If your phone, right, you don't have to worry about it not telling the right time, being, well, serviced, you know, iPhone or any kind of smartphone is gonna need a service, you know? But why wear watches? So we definitely don't need them at this point in time. And that's what makes the entire hobby even more special, is the fact that there are so many people into it. And if you're not sure if there's a lot of people into watches, check out the videos on the Windup Fairs, not specifically mine, but there were thousands of people. I'm talking about when I got to the line to get in on the first day, Friday, work day, that line wrapped around a full Manhattan block and kept going. People were turning the corner like, oh, you know what I mean? So there's obviously something to wearing watches, and the real reason is that it's an artistic expression at the same time, right? Like, we dive deep into these hobbies. We want to know how things work, and we appreciate timepieces. And some people appreciate the history of timepieces. I myself, I look at it as an expression of, like, how you choose your clothes, right? That's an expression of yourself. How you choose the art you have hanging on your wall. I look at watches as art on the wall, but I get to wear it on my wrist, and I actually use my watches to tell time from time to time. So that's my elevator pitch. If it didn't work for you, then what are you gonna do? Do you have any watch mods or watch builds coming up? Love the bronze one you built. Do I have any watch mods? Not per se, not for personal builds. I kind of got to the point, I built maybe like, I have in my collection, I have maybe from scratch, oh boy, maybe like 8 to 10 watches that I've already built, which is close to 1/5 of my collection at this point. So I kind of geared back. There's a lot of time that takes, obviously. And since I've been partnering with Nomoki Mods, I kind of get my mod fix from them, if you will. So I did a couple of videos. You guys seem to like that, me building that, and then also me doing a comparison video. So that's kind of eating up my mod time. Look, I didn't do YouTube, and that was part of my hobby before YouTube, right? And that was what ate up a lot of my time. So there's only so many hours in the day, you know, so it is what it is. I don't have anything that I'm working on currently. Now, I say that, and somebody on Watch Crunch has one of my dials and built their own watches off of it. The case they used wasn't very good, let's just say that. And he's actually sending me that watch so like that I could put my own case on it. So now that I think of it, technically, yes, I will be working on something. And of course, I'm going to record it. So I also warned him, I said, I'll tell you what, I definitely will hook it up, but I'm going to have to hold on to it for a while because A, I want to film it. B, I'm running out of free time at this point because I do this, as I said in the beginning of the video, I do this as a hobby. I do YouTube as a hobby. So, you know, there's only so many times in a day, and that's what it is. Shout out to Mrs. Santana. Mrs. Santana is more popular than I am, and she doesn't even realize it. So I had even one of the closest homies, after seeing the video, he was like, yo, your wife did a phenomenal job filming that. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't have been a video without her, so you're absolutely right. So she's super popular, probably more than I did. I wish I could get her to come here on YouTube, but she ain't gonna do that. She ain't gonna do that. Yep, the pic I saw. LOL. Okay, there you go. There you go. To be honest, Skylar, most people don't use watches for time. You're right. It's all about what it looks like and what it represents, completely different from what a smartphone is for. Correct. I completely agree. Now, I said that I use the watch sometimes to tell, but rarely. I'll be honest with you. I look at it just so like, and you only know this if you are a watch collector. You know when you look down and you get that little endorphin hit, and you're like, ah. And you didn't even read the time. You just looked at the details. You're like, oh yeah, that's why I bought this watch. Bingo. Right on the money, Patel. Philippe. I don't always carry my phone the entire time I'm awake. You set it down somewhere and it will sit, and you may need to check the time. That's true too. That's true too. It does come in handy. Listen, at the end of the day, it does tell time, right? And thing, modifying cars, history. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. I don't take my phone if I'm swimming in the ocean or diving. So that is also a reason for some. Yeah, I mean, look, they were eventually designed and evolved into tools, and they still can be. If you are an aquatic person, if you are a diver, it's absolutely necessary. So I think some phones are waterproof now, and obviously there's other things around it, but nothing's more nostalgic than having a timepiece on you that has that water resistance that you can rely on and you really know that it's going to be safe. So absolutely valid. I'll allow it. That's true too. Good points. Thelonious, let's go, baby. Thelonious Monk, you, sir, are an absolute legend. Pleasure meeting you at Windup, bro. It was a vibe. I wish we had more time to chit chat. I was kind of like a man on a mission when I was there. So I apologize if I didn't spend, and I don't know, maybe I'm in my head, but if I didn't spend enough time. You had Ripsaw Joe, you had Not a Watch Snob, you had Dave D there. So guys, if I didn't spend enough time with you, that's my bad. I went in there Friday, I scoped the whole place out. I brought my brother-in-law Friday, I brought my wife on Saturday, and my mother on Sunday. So I had the fam with me. I had to, you know, entertain them and make sure they were good, even though they knew it was pretty much, I was there for me, like doing my thing, but you know, you can't ignore them. And my mind was just divided. And I was there for research. I was there for the experience. I wanted to be an enthusiast. Because look, at the end of the day, I'm an enthusiast first before anything else. So that's the priority. And especially going to Windup this year and kind of gauging and knowing how it was going to be, I had to plan accordingly. And I learned a lot, man. If you like that video that I did from the Windup, the recap, guys, I didn't even realize that I could sign up as a content creator and get in there earlier and do everything. I was beside myself when I found that out. But all of that information is now going to be going towards next year. And I'm going to challenge myself next year to do a recap video with every single brand that's there. Let's go, baby. I'm going to try at least. You know, I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but the plan is to do that. You know, I want to show love to everybody who opens up a because look, it's beneficial for them to do that, but a lot of them are coming from other countries and opening up a table, being there for 3 hours, having the same explanations over and over again, having to carry your watches and get them through, importing and stuff. It's tough, man. It's a lot. So I have a lot of respect for every single brand that showed up in front of their table. And next year, my plan is to get every single one of you on camera, show you some love. And for those who can't make it, I want you to be able to see every brand. Now, it's going to be more of like an elevator pitch. It's going to be more of like, maybe like their top model that they explain and a little history background of, who they are and where they're going and how they separate themselves. Something like that as a format. You know what I mean? What up, Thelonious Monk? Thelonious Monk's a cool cat, man. He's too cool for school, Thelonious Monk, man. He really is a cool cat. I use my watch to tell time every day. That's what's up. Yep, me too. I use my watch for, I don't know why I'm doing these characters' voices. I use my watches for both telling time and its aesthetics. All right, so I got this question for you guys. Do you use it more for an aesthetic or more for like a personal expression over time, or is it time over that? Holla. Why did I say holla? I don't know. Skylar, name your top 5 watches that really stood out to you in the Windup Fair. Were they what you thought they would be, or new brands that you discovered? All right, so the thing about that is I'm terrible with recalling. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. I have a hard time recalling names. My #1 draft pick, I got this wrong in the video too. Bleu Bleu? No, that's definitely don't. Yeah, I can't edit this out. It's the one with that floating second hand. Is that #1 for me? That's #1 for me, like design language separation. #1, like, oh man, this is on the spot. It's tough, dude. It's so hard to answer that question because I got a lot of love for the Belcanto. I featured that in the recap, and it's a lot of romance for that watch for their complete transparency and what they do for, like, that one obviously catapulted Christopher Ward. That just, they were already headed to outer space, but that really was like rocket fuel. And it's an amazing piece. It really is. There's another one that has a jump hour where the hour doesn't actually jump. There's a minute hand that actually jumps instead. Can't remember the name. Oh, yo, you're useless, my guy. Why'd you go to Windup for? Yeah. Watch my video. It's in the video, though. All the ones that I'm talking about is in the video. What else? Jack Mason's watch, man. I know it's Swiss made, and I know, some people had something to say about that, but it is everything that it cracked up to be. I got a good look. I got really in on it, and the finishing on it, just the design that Peter puts into it is magnificent. Erebus actually surprised me too with his what is it called? Man, you know what I'm talking about. It's also in the video as well. That was very shocking. Look, there was a high expectation, in my opinion, for the Erebus watch for Jody, right? Because we've all watched him on YouTube for many years, like myself. Big fan of him, and as a watch reviewer himself, right? It's like, you know what we want. You can't mess this up, right? So there must be a lot of pressure coming from Jody to come out with a watch and not disappoint, because after being a reviewer, like I said, there's high expectations, and I don't think his watches disappoint. I think that, especially the one that I'm talking about that I can't say the name for the dial, is the one that really I would say is nice. And I know that, they're just starting off, so it's going to be crazy to see his watches evolve very rapidly, because I do believe that he has a big, strong following, and it's going to help excel him, and there's going to be a lot of accelerant because of that. Now, I'll tell you guys what I picked up from Windup, an Islander watch. I actually went with the Port Jeff, the white dial, GMT. Whoo, now he has that in non-GMT. It was out of stock. Would I have gone with that? I was trying to go with that one first, I think, because it had a smaller case thickness to it. But at the same time, I have so many affordable watches now that I'm looking to, because look, the NH35 is all I really know. Not all that I really know, but it's what I've been exposed to the most. Yes, I have a Tissot PRX, that's a different movement, and yes, I have a Seagull, that's a different movement. But I have a lot of NH, and I'm a little NH tired. I'm still gonna cover them for affordable watches for sure, but what's going into my collection is stuff that I don't have. And his Port Jefferson actually has the Miyota 9075, I think, and that's a true traveler. So it's gonna be my first true traveler watch. So I'm super excited. I haven't even ripped into that. I'm of course gonna do a review on it. And then I wanna watch from Spinnaker, the Flus. The Flus is loose. Phenomenal watch. That's also a Miyota 9039? 9039? 9039? 939. 321. 123. What the heck is bothering me? Who knows where that's from? If you know where that's from, put that in chat. But it's also a different movement and it has a higher beat on it. So I'm trying to evolve into that, and eventually, hopefully, I'm able to get into the atmosphere of Jack Mason. Because Jack Mason is, I love him personally. It's right at that cusp where it's like, man, I'm not ready for that, like financially. I'll keep it a buck. So probably next year, it's on my radar. The Dr. Pepper white color dial on that, phenomenal. I'm going on and on, my bad. Top 5 watches. I don't know if that was 5. Yeah, Islander, the Floating Secondhand, the Erebus. What else did I say? Jack Mason, and then the other jump hour. That was 5. That took me like 5 hours. Yo, Thelonious Monk, pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure meeting you too, my guy. Absolute legend you are. I can't wait until we get to link up again next year. You had to know this question was coming. Yeah, that's facts. Thank you, bro. Thank you. For the self-expression and functionality. Hey, Mrs. S, I wear... hold on, Chris Murray. Hey, Mr. S. I said Mrs. Hey, Mr. S, I wear watches to put a smile on my face. No better way of doing that than with beautiful aesthetics. Facts. Shared your live, hope to send you some view. Oh man, listen, cross-pollination is a real thing, man, and I'm all for it. I appreciate it, man. And like I said in the beginning of the video, you guys got to check out Cool Watches Only. His reviews, if you go and check out Cool Watches Only reviews, get some popcorn, get some soda, and have some free time, because you will be amazed. Family matters. Yes, sir. Protect Philippe. 321. 123. What the heck is bothering me? You! He loses it. You! Peter Chow from Jack Mason makes some great watches. His latest watches, the Canton. Yeah, that's the watch I was talking about. I think I said it wrong in the video too. I'm so sorry, Jack Mason, man. But this is what you're gonna get when you tune on to Santana. He's gonna pronounce things wrong. He's gonna say wrong model numbers. Yo, it is what it is, baby. I'm trying. I swear, I'm not doing it on purpose. The Canton is, and Shane from Relative Time, he actually made, and I know this is going to be controversy, an objective review of the Canton. Who else was it? Monta, and what was the third one? I can't remember. But Jack Mason came up on top. I don't know if you agree. You know, it's hard to be super objective, but I think he did a good job. You know, those videos are probably one of the toughest to do. Like, just to manufacture alone, my comparison videos are the hardest mentally to also like put down on paper, if you will, right? It's like, okay, I know how I want to do the comparison, but how do I translate this in the video? So shout out to him, man. I love Shane from all the time. He does a great job. P.S. Any update on the watch Chris named? That's not gonna change, bro. What are you talking about? You know it's not gonna. All right, so I got off track by a lot. All right, so to wrap things up, I'm not gonna really talk about the show in detail. I'm gonna talk about more what I experienced in the 3 days that I was there. Super jam-packed. The show was on steroids, and the watch community is growing. And if you weren't sure about that, that was proof in the pudding. They had a place that was almost 3 times as big, and it was still packed out, okay? Even on Friday. So the experience did have a feeling of being overwhelmed. Now, that is by definition and by nature the person's expectation, so it's kind of their fault. If you don't expect New York to be crowded, that's on you. But I think that they did a great job hosting the show. Everything was laid out. They had the diagram. It was enough space for you to do what you want to do. But if you wanted to get every single brand as a content creator, you weren't doing that. And it was just a lot to absorb. They're there to sell watches at the end of the day, right? And they're there to put you on. So, but when you have that many options, you almost have to go home after and let it soak in your mind. Obviously, there's going to be standalone companies that really going to be your top 5, like you said, and you'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, it gets their name out there. It's all good. And but I want to say that the show was somewhat overwhelming to a certain degree, but definitely worth it, and definitely a load and tons of fun, great vibes, connecting with random people, connecting with some of you guys that recognized me by voice. Some of you recognized me by face. It was just a vibe. Now, we had the after party with Watch Crunch. I call it after party. It's a meetup after Watch Crunch. Phenomenal time. To be able to see and interact with you guys on that platform is really, really special to me. I had a fantastic time with you guys. I love the brands that show up there as well. Max does a good, phenomenal time with orchestrating everything. It's just a vibe, you know what I mean? Like, you get to see the people that you know by tag name in person, see what they're wearing, really connect. So I had a great time. I gotta get this phone out of the sun. Give me 1 second. This is gonna overheat. Then we're gonna have a problem. That's not out of the sun. Hold on, guys. This is already doing that, like that dim stuff. That's a little better. So guys, thank you so much for those who showed up and all of the love and support. I really appreciate, and I really had a great time seeing you guys at the Watch Crunch meetup. And recently, Watch Crunch has done an update where they added stories to the platform, which is really, really nice. It's really, really cool. So, sorry guys, I apologize. My phone is, I think it's starting to lag and everything. Oh my Lord, technical difficulties. I don't even have any shade. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. So Watch Crunch has just implemented stories on their platform. I think it is a great thing to have done because it connects us a little bit more. And I know that they're working on many other updates to make the platform even more cohesive and have people be able to connect a little bit more. And having a phenomenal time on there, man. You guys know I host the photography challenge every Friday. There's a theme that we pick with our watches. And, you know, let's say it's a theme of, I think this week's theme is food, right? So taking a wristwatch shot with some food in front of you. It's just something to have fun with the collection that you already have. Not just about buying watches, which we know that that's the biggest hit of dopamine. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do we connect and how do we have fun with the timepieces that we have? And that's what I try to push on there and you know, carry the content with that. So let me back up here. Vincent H, yes, we are absolutely live. Jack Mason is nice, but for the same money, I would go with a Formex. Hey man, like, if that's what you want, if that's what you like, I can't argue with you, bro. I'm not gonna try to talk you out of it. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like when you put a watch in your collection, it has to be for you. And at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you guys, a big reason why I want to actually own a Jack Mason is because my connection with them, man. Like I vibe out with them. I really level with them as a brand before anything else, and I really believe in what they do. And now Formex also does you know, there's everything I just said. Lone Ranger, you're probably feeling the same way. And if you feel more value out of what they're offering, respect, much respect. Just contacted Elysium Tag from Helios to join on Watch Crunch. Fire, JC. We'll see. Nice to have Zelos page on Watch Crunch. Keep on trucking, my friend. Yeah, and see, look, that was my main point, man. When I made the story and I made the post about bringing people more on platform, it was more so about that. Because I know you guys have a lot of brands that you really like and want to connect to. Call it an internet show, if you will. They can keep you guys updated on watches. You get to really see the shows that they're going to and they're being a part of. You get to keep track of how the brand is evolving a little bit more, a little bit quicker. And I just think the platform in general is good for the watch community outside of the platform itself. And from the show, being around thousands of people, a lot of the people were great. A lot of people were smiling and happy, and they would actually find a home within Watch Crunch too, man. So I always try to advocate. I always try to get more people on platform. Now, some people are afraid of bringing in the wrong crowd. We'll keep this on a lower level. We won't go crazy, but some people are worried about too many people coming in the wrong way. But gotta remember, Watch Crunch was built on the foundation of having a very peaceful, very respectful conversation and connection, right? And for that to have been the reason why they created it, it's hard for me to believe that they're ever going to lose sight. And I do believe that that's going to be their top priority in moving forward, regardless of the growth. But at the end of the day, everybody needs to grow, right? So I think it's advantageous for us all. And we're going to be on the lookout for trolls, man. Trolls don't survive on Watch Crunch. They go to Watch Crunch to die. So, it is what it is. Subscribe, bro. I appreciate you. Love to see new channels putting in so much energy into this. No need to fall asleep. I appreciate you, man. I really do. Skylar, if you think that we wear watches not to tell time, but to enjoy the aesthetics more, what apart from the bel canto really floats your boat aesthetically? Any price point? I do like the aesthetics of the bel canto. I like what the bel canto means more. What do I mean by that? I mean that to be able to access such a high complication within a watch, relatively speaking, at affordable rate, right? We're talking about thousands of dollars here, so you have to tread cautiously when you say something like that, because that could sound crazy. But you all know that a complication like that in another brand, I'm not going to name names, is going to be thousands of dollars. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. And the fact that they said, we're going to put in the work, we're going to figure it out, and then we're not going to charge $20,000 for the watch, that's what I mean by connecting to the brand. It's like, yo, I have a lot of respect for that, because anybody who's really working hard and putting their pants on and really pushes to put some money aside can obtain that watch, right? Brand new. So a lot of respect for that innovation, a lot of respect for the brand for that reason, and a lot of respect to Mike, because he also puts himself onto the platform and regularly updates us. So that has a lot of my respect, and that goes for Jack Mason. They are also a part of Watch Crunch a lot as well. So when I like a brand before I even see their watches, that's locked in. You know what I mean? So for the bel canto, it's more of the meaning behind it over the aesthetics, honestly. I know that sounds crazy, but I also like the aesthetics too. I think it's cool. It's a chunky boy. But I just think all around it's just a cool watch. Am I gonna 100% get that watch? I don't know. Because it's a aspirational watch, because it's something that I have to work towards. Plans change every single day. So I like the Canton, but I don't feel like the Straddle Timer was a bad watch. But I don't feel like the Straddle Timer was a bad watch though. And they should have assembled them in Texas. Yeah, I hear you. I guess that's a valid point if that's what really concerns you, bro. Like, I respect it. What am I gonna say? Like, at the end of the day, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. You know what I mean? But again, going back to what I said about why, that's my reason why. And I've connected to brands before I've even seen their watches, or before I really dive deep into the appreciation of their timepiece, to be honest with you. It's weird. It doesn't even make sense. It may not make sense to you, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, what else? We already caught up on chat. All right, so Watch Crunch meetup, Watch Crunch updates. We covered that. The show ended off as busy as it started off. Again, I have a lot of contingency plans for it in the future. I've got crazy ideas for it, actually. I told you guys what my plans are for the channel moving forward. Always trying to improve, always trying to get better. Then last but not least, I think did we talk about this already? I talked too much. I'm planning, I had a phone call with Trap for about 30 minutes prior to coming on live, and we talked about putting together a panel and doing that at least twice a month, where we go up here and talk watches and, just have that, pick each other's mind and vibe off of each other. So that's going to be a thing as well in 2025, and I'm super excited. And let me know what you guys really think also too. Like, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to criticism, to be honest with you, constructive criticism. And I'm just gonna keep doing it pretty much the way I have been at the end of the day. I think I caught up on chat. So that's pretty much all I have. If you guys don't have anything for me, we could wrap things up. We're on here for 45 already. But I do appreciate everybody coming on chat, especially meeting some of you guys in person, man. It's kind of cool because now when I see Thelonious, I could see the face. You know what I mean? JP, obviously, I've been seeing your face. I'm tired of your mug. I'm excited about your watch, though. And it's already in the mail, so there's nothing you can do about it, buddy. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you haven't seen my wind-up video, the recap for it, check it out. I got Zezimi coming out for a review. Noctua is going to be coming out review. I have the Floose, the Spinnaker Floose that I won actually at a raffle for Watch Crunch. And I have the Islander, the Port Jefferson Islander in white. Oh man, I can't wait to open that box. Like, yeah. I'm just thinking about it now, man. I'm super excited about that. And I think I'm done for the year buying. I don't know if I'm going to put anything else in my collection. I think I'm going to chill. I'm getting to the point now. I said I was getting off. I lied. I'm getting to the point now in my collection. I've got 50 plus watches, yeah? And now I want to buy bigger pieces. I want to buy stuff that is a little different to learn about movements and this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna have to slow my roll with it. Also, too, because I just have too many watches. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to give some away. I'm going to have to let some go. I don't know. But I want to take more time, and I'm looking around maybe 2 to 3 watches a year max that I purchase and put into my collection personally. And that gives me a plenty amount of time to really make my decision. And it also allows me to buy a watch of a higher caliber. Because here's the deal. I was looking at this also too, right? The Islander that I'm getting also has the same movement, I believe, in one of Jack Mason's straddle timer, now that you brought it up, right? And there's a price difference there. Now, I know that Jack Mason does different things with bracelets, and they have more features within their watch to justify the price difference, yeah? And the fact that I can't recite that means I got to do some more homework. So those are the things that I have to look into moving. I'm just trying to block the sun. Those are the things that I have to look into moving forward to responsibly put things into my collection. And I don't know. I think slowing it down and getting bigger purchases allows me to open the door to more value and get things that I just wasn't able to get with that more affordable rate, whether it be like sub 500, you know, playing around with NH35s all the time. I want to see what it's all about, man. I want to do my due diligence on other movements and what is better and what's more valuable to me. So big on bracelets too. Like, I love to get the quick release at the lugs, and I love to get the diver extension, because I don't want to have to take my bracelet off in the summertime willingly. I like to keep the bracelet on sometimes in the summer, but we all know our wrist swells. So to have that diver extension is clutch. And then the quick release is just, I don't want to take my tools out, I guess. I overslept. Wait, hold on. Sky, do you think that the Bel Canto was a bit of a one-off watch from Christopher Ward, or are you a fan of the brand in general? I am a fan in general of Chris Ward. Here's the deal. The Bel Cantos really was what broke them into the stratosphere. I'm gonna go with that. But that's not the only great watch they have. If you look at that Loom Block watch, I can't recite the model, but if you look at a lot of their watches, at the level of the Bel Canto, do I think that they're gonna come out with more things like that? They will. They're not gonna stop there with all that great success, I don't think. But I also don't think that the other watches fall that short of the Bel Canto. Yes, it has all the bells and whistles. I see what I did there. But I think a lot of their dive watches, a lot of their other watches hold their own weight. So I don't think that they're nearly done yet. And I don't think it's going to be a one-off for sure. Like, now that they've got the secret sauce and they've got a taste of that kind of thing, that's going to be, I see them going completely in-house. Like, I see them completely going into innovation in movements in general. So no, I don't think it's going to be a one-off. Did anyone go after the 50 Fathoms this morning? You know what? I've seen a lot of pictures on Watch Crunch for it. I don't know if that necessarily means they got it. I'm pretty sure people went after it. It's a super cool watch. I actually showed that in the wind up video as well. Um, I'm a fan of Spinnaker, and I'm not just saying that because I won a raffle. I mean, of course you're a fan, but I I I didn't know. I didn't know, and they make great watches. And I actually made my next comparison video, just so you guys know, it's probably going to be the 50 Fathoms inspired mod that I put together versus, not versus, but in comparison to their iterations, right? They have a whole bunch of 50 Fathoms kind of feel and design. And I can tell you right now, their watch smokes my custom watch altogether. But I still want to do a comparison video, and I think you guys really like those comparison videos. So I think that that's going to be an interesting video to set up. But again, that takes a lot of energy, so that may take me some time. But that is a super cool watch. Did anyone? I read that. I overslept. Man, wake up, bro. You know what I was going to say, right? Wake up, bro. Are you going to venture into vintage watches? Some great. So, no. And I'll tell you why. With the micro brand space, and we all know the names, Laurier, who else has vintage inspirations? I can't think of it off the top of my head. There's a few. There's a few, and they're doing it very, very well. Strathlome. If you look at the Strathlome watches, I'm in love with that watch too, man. I should have mentioned that one before when you asked me about the top 5, because my man Eugene over there, he's also a watchmaker. He makes that vintage look, but a bigger size in that watch. It's also in the video if you want to check it out, but you got to see all of his models, and his dials are fire. And he makes only limited editions. He just came out with a women's size watch. Women's size, you know, we all wear whatever size at this point, but mother of pearl on the dial, dark one, light one. I don't think that I have the courage to step into a vintage arena. Would I like to? I would, but there's so much that goes into buying the seller, knowing you're getting genuine parts, the general care for them, right? Like, not always the case, because some vintage watches are just tanks, even for their time, but I have interest in the vintage watches because I think that they look really cool, but you can get a lot of people like Laurier doing brand new watches that look vintage. So for me, that's enough, and it hasn't even been something that's been circling my mind, to be quite honest with you. So I don't think that I'm gonna get into vintage watches anytime soon, but you never know. I'll never say never. They released at 6 a.m. New York time. I was counting sheep. Yeah, bro, that's 6 a.m. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm out of the house at 6, so I could have took a crack at it, but I'm at my limit already with watches for the year, man. I won, like I said, the Spinnaker Flus, so I counted that as one. And then I got the Islander, man. And I want to talk about the Islander at Windup too, man. Let's talk about the Islander. So, super cool watch, man. Affordable range. If you're really stepping into independent brands, they're a great place to do that. And if I'm being completely transparent with you, and probably Thelonious would be able to pull my card anyway because he saw the watch that I purchased. Thelonious, I actually ended up changing that watch. I don't want to say I had buyer's remorse, but I had buyer's remorse. Had nothing to do with the quality, had everything to do with me not connecting to the watch more than I thought. It was the one with the ST17 Siegel movement and with the Pogue kind of gold tone to it on the dial. I thought I loved that watch, and I thought I really needed to have it. Now, my experience with it was the crown was a little too small for my fingers, but it looked good. But I don't know, man. I think I may have gotten caught up a little bit. It's the first time that I really felt like I wanted to change a watch, which is kind of crazy for me. But Mark was super cool, and because I just got it, he allowed me to swap that out. So I actually changed that to the Port Jefferson. But his watches in general, I know Trap has one. Dave D showed me his, which I think it's the same one that Trap has. He has a large range. Like, he goes everywhere from super affordable movements and setups all the way up to now the Miyota 9079, which is the Port Jeff. And I think the white dial is the fan favorite, if you will, specifically on the three-hander. And he was out of stock on that. That's the watch. I didn't even see that watch at the show. His table, bro, is insanity. is insanity. Like he always has, I think, at every windup, so many people at the table, and it just feels like you don't have enough time to really digest all the watches in front of you. So I think that is what happened. Again, the watch that I got was phenomenal, but once I saw the Port Jeff, I was like, all righty then. So I hit him up and I was like, yo, my bad. Ryan was like, yo, what happened, my guy? What's going on? Mark hit me up and said, but they were actually really, really good with the customer service. They communicated with me back and forth. I actually hit the email up late at night, and I didn't even think I was going to get a response to the morning, but I think I might have gotten Mark, and he was communicating with me, which then he passed it off to Ryan at a certain point. But both were phenomenal with the customer service. I have to say it's an A+ for me. They didn't make me feel bad. I was really apologetic because I don't want to be that guy that's like returning, and it wasn't a return, it was an exchange. But it was just a mistake, I think. I think I really wanted the Port Jeff in the white dial Miyota GMT True Traveler, and it's going to be my first one, so I am stoked when that watch comes in, for sure. But Islander, great watch to start off with. Spinnaker also is on the affordable side. Out of Order is also a great brand. Laurier's not too much. There's a lot of brands that are like, quote unquote, step into the independent brand space. If you don't want to go too crazy on price, let me get my water. And I was able to touch and feel their watches at the show. So exciting stuff. And there's probably so many more brands there that I could fire off, but I can't remember. I was gonna ask you about that, but didn't want to say anything. I wasn't sure if you were saving it for an unboxing. Nah, it's all good, bro. No, I'm not saying. So the watch, like I said, the watch I showed you, I actually exchanged because for the reasons I said before. But yeah, at James, oh, you guys are talking to yourself. Oh, that's another company. Veer. I'm actually, I wasn't paying so much attention to Veer in the past. I now am looking at them a lot more. And I'm watching to see what they do. They actually let the community choose their next release. So I think that's super cool. They were part of the Watch Crunch, so they get brownie points for that. And I think they have great watches. So I'm going to be looking at them as well and doing some homework more into that. At James, I think I read that. The people that were doing special pricing were selling watches last weekend. Long Island, Venetianico. Venetianico is also, you guys know I love Venetianico. I have the Rendendori Aventurina, Spinnaker, etc. all had decent discounts. Yeah, that's another point too, Thelonious. It depends on who. I might have sold the Venetianico at the show too, because there was another guy at a booth downstairs. He saw the Venetianico that I was wearing, and he was like, man, I was looking at that Aventurine glass. I was really thinking about it, but I don't know. I said, my man, you got to pull up to the table. You got to put this watch on, because you're going to be kicking yourself later if you really, truly want it. And later on that day, he comes upstairs, and I was doing a quick recording, but I peeped him from the corner of my eye. So when I was done recording, I was like, you're up here to get that watch, huh? So he comes over to the table. I pick up the same watch that I was wearing, and I start selling the watch. I start going like, okay, so they have 2 drilled holes at the lugs. This way, when you're wearing the leather, it gets closer to the watch. The other one is for the metal bracelet. The bracelet doesn't come with the watch. You have to buy that separately, but I recommend you do that. The Aventurine glass is very minimalistic, and it's hard to set the time, but that's part of the fun of the watch, is that, you know, who really cares? It's more laid back. It's more for the, you know what I mean? And they were just like watching me. They were like, damn, bro, give this guy commission. You know what I mean? So that was, I think that, I don't know if he bought the watch. After that, I was like, yo, my man is ready to buy, I believe. If you give him the right price, the show's wrapping up. Maybe you want to do a little, you know what I'm saying? New York City. And I think he might have bought the watch. I don't know. They all had busy booths. Everybody's booth was busy, bro. It was insanity in a good way, and I had so much fun, and I cannot wait till next year. And the biggest reason why I had so much fun was actually seeing you guys and connecting with all the enthusiasts there, man. And like, it's really something special, because when you're behind this camera or when you're communicating online, it's something different. Like, you know that it's there, but when you go and you see something like that, another level, completely crazy. You know, you running my booth next year, bro. This guy, you can't afford me, bro. What are you talking about? I'm gonna run your booth. I probably will. I'll probably do it for free. Um, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. We talked about that off camera, and you know, you never know, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Not two. So anyway, guys, I'm well over. No, I'm just under the hour, so I'm right on. I'm right on time, guys. I really do appreciate you guys for coming on and listening to me rant for an hour. I like to go off the cuff. Again, I've been advised by guys that are much greater than me to not do so, but I think that it worked. I think that we have a vibe here and we're able to communicate enough for me to have a subject matter. I wanted to do a real recap of the wind up and the watch crunch and what I'm doing here on the channel. So we covered that and I am happy. Do you prefer straps on your watches? In the hot months, have you jumped into strap rabbit hole? Definitely strap rabbit hole, for sure. Like when I was like, okay, I got to slow down watch buying. What do? I'm gonna buy straps. You know what I mean? And it just becomes another thing and they're more affordable. So I have a whole drawer of straps that more than half of them don't ever get used. I don't necessarily switch my watches to straps in seasons when it's summertime. And that's like the reason I talked about, right? My San Martin is a perfect example because the bracelet for that has the diver extension, that quick diver extension where you just press it in. So I prefer to have bracelets that do that. This way we don't have to get any tools involved. And it's a mood for me. It's not a season, it's a mood for bracelets. And of course, I always recommend getting the bracelet, guys. If you ever have a chance to do bracelet or strap, do not save your money. Buy the bracelet, okay? Because it's so much easier to work backwards into a strap than it is into a bracelet to fit. Sometimes the fitting is just like the manufacturer of the watch is going to do it where it's hopefully seamless. And aftermarket stuff doesn't always work. You can purchase from the brand after the fact, but do they still make it? You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And usually, generally speaking, the bracelet is baked into the price a little bit better when you first purchase the watch. So that's my take. Don't change your style, bro. I can't, man. I don't know where else to go. This is who I am. This is what I do, baby. But I do appreciate you guys for supporting that. And it's kind of crazy because when I first started, I'm getting all sappy now. Just shut up and get off. When I first started this, man, I thought maybe 100, 200 people to connect to would be super dope. So the fact that the channel's now at 8 something, closer to 9 now, it's like crazy, bro. It's like, no way. I feel like I hit the lotto. Like you're seeing your numbers come up on the screen. 2, 24, 18, 9, 40. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining in. This was a lot of fun. I'll try to do the rants when I can. Check out the last videos that I've done if you guys have some more time or some more time over the weekend. But have a blessed weekend, everybody. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And please don't forget, I almost forgot. Don't forget, I almost forgot. This all started with a timepiece. No matter where your watch collection journey takes you, no matter how you decide to collect, you guys are all welcome on this channel and in this community, as you should be. I appreciate you guys for checking in on this live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.